Here we go. Waiting on Barry. He's going to say, I can't find a room. Here we
Been
go.
here the whole time.
I've been ringing.
Okay, let's see here.
Here we
Been
go.
here the whole time.
No.
Huh.
Nope, he's not up and ready yet.
It's all right.
So what'd you do this week?
Same old shit. Just doing a bunch of
Different
maintenance
day,
projects and yeah. I opened this can of worms when I wanted to paint a couple signs.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was a couple that were bothering me because they weren't bright enough, and so I got some paint and started painting them. And now I realize there's like 30 more. Like it's hard to just do the couple that I wanted to do without the other ones now looking really dull. I got to repaint a bunch of these things. It's just a bigger project than I chewed off when I dove into it. You know how that goes, though.
Yep. Sure do.
You start something and it's like, oh shit.
Sure do.
This is a much bigger bag of worms than I thought it was.
Yeah, like you look at yourself and say, what the hell did I get myself into this time? And like, scratch your head and other things, and you know, it's like shake your head.
Hey, the Trump administration is
yeah. I knew I should have thought this through a little better.
everyone.
My damn phone just pushes ads to me. Like my phone does it.
Yeah.
It ticks me off. It's like, why are you pushing ads at me? Like
I hate it when that happens, man.
And it's the dumbest stuff too. Like things I would never in a million years have any interest in.
Yeah, stuff that you don't even want to know about. Not important. Not in the slightest.
Like, what was this one? $4 off Dice Dreams. Right? Dice Dreams. It looks like it's some silly little game for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I can save $4 if I'm like, what? I'm never ever in a million years going to buy that. I mean, if I had a 4-year-old kid, okay, fine, you know. I'm never ever. So did you ever talk to Terry?
I kept getting like the voicemail thing, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to text him. And
yeah.
I haven't got that far yet with him yet.
I've never called or like actually talked to him. I don't think, but he texts all the time.
Oh, okay. 'Cause, yeah, I'm not a big phone guy.
I know. I hate typing on my phone.
Super
it's
hate
mind-boggling
typing
me.
on the phone. Roger Hanson in Kick Chat. Yeah, he's gonna be restrained.
Hey, Roger.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's getting it all set up. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to top off, and I'll be right back. Hopefully, if you see Barry, let him in. You know.
Oh, all right. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
So, everybody, how's it going tonight? Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. That's right. We're diving into it tonight. Got all kinds of great stories coming up, all kinds of news from all over the world, some of it good, some of it bad, and some of it quite horrific, honestly, as I look through these tabs. But also good, you know. Rays of sunshine exist out there. I mean, what about that little 12-year-old kid, that girl in Ireland, standing there with a machete in one hand and an axe in the other, fending off foreign men who are filming her, following her? Don't touch me, she kept saying. Don't touch me, as if they had been trying to touch her. God-awful stuff, man. God-awful stuff these kids have to go through nowadays. I mean, that's just not... That kid is going to be hardened. By the time they turn 20, they're going to be hardened into some very, very vicious people who've seen wicked, horrible, vicious things in their lives. And it's quite scary to think of an entire generation of kids over there growing up like that. But it's what you get. I mean, it's been going on for at least 10 years. I think, you know, Tommy Robinson was out there first speaking vocally on this for a long time. I mean, it's got to be at least 10 years ago that I first came across him, probably closer to 15. And so there's already tens and tens of thousands of women now that are getting up into their, you know, mid-20s or early 30s who have been exposed to this, who lived through it. And I don't know where their voices are. You know, you'd think we'd be hearing from more and more of them, but I would also understand that it'd be very difficult to come forward and say, yeah, I was a victim of this, you know? But it's just, they really need to find that strength and come forward and start talking about the things that have happened across the board to them and everyone they know. But anyway, that's that. I don't want to. If you know my show, you know I don't like to talk too much politics or even really at all before the show, just to save my voice. And especially politics, because it's so easy to forget what you talked about before the show versus what you talked about in the first hour of the show. So if I've seen that before in the early days where we would get into some heated stuff about politics, and I'd be reluctant to raise it in the show later because did we already talk about that during the show or was it before the show? I can't remember, you know? Because the last thing I want to do is bring up the same story in the second hour that we covered in the first hour and come off like Joe Biden.
I don't know if we covered that one yet, kiddo.
Oh boy. It's a beautiful day. It's cooled off quite a bit out here in Arizona. And it was hot last week, man. Then all of a sudden, boom, it just cooled right off. Got some rain, which is so needed, man. We haven't seen rain like all summer since like spring, like you know, like early mid-spring, like April. I don't think it rained at all in, for sure, like most of May, all of June, July, and now, you know, half of August up until this last week to like the 20th or so. So it was dry as a bone out here. Very dangerous stuff. It's amazing if you look at, you know, the number of fires that consistently run across the West Coast and the Rockies and whatnot. It is just a staggering number of them. I would bet right now there must be 40 or 50 burning at this moment in time, at least. And Yeah, I mean, there could be that many in California alone. It's just such a huge area, and it's so dry. It just doesn't rain very much on the West Coast. It's very, very different than living back east, where you don't get the humidity and you don't get the rain. I remember, Lake Tahoe, it didn't rain at all ever in the summer. You could plan a wedding there in July, a year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now. It doesn't matter which year, it doesn't matter which weekend you pick, it won't rain, which is pretty amazing. I actually had a friend of mine who was reluctant, kind of on the fence about coming out. And he's like, it'll probably just rain and we'll hang out inside the whole time and be bored. And I'm like, dude, if it rains, I will pay for your ticket. So he's like, what, really? Like, yeah, if it rains, if you feel one drop of rain, I will pay for your ticket. Like, heck, if we have a cloudy day, I'll pay for your ticket. And so, of course, he came out and we didn't even see a cloud the whole time. It's funny, there's that expression, there's not a cloud in the sky. And in the Midwest, it means there's some clouds in the sky. There's just not many of them. But out in, if you're in LA and they say there's not a cloud in the sky, it means there's not a cloud in the sky. There's not a one. Which is kind of interesting. I mean, chemtrails sometimes. Depending where you're at, of course. But, yeah, I remember after 9/11 being out in some meadow and looking up at the sky, and there just wasn't a single chemtrail. It was kind of crazy because they'd grounded all the planes, and it looks so different. It's amazing how we get used to that, And now they're putting an end to it, which is great. Slowly but surely, they're putting an end to it. I got to remember to watch for Barry in the room, whatever. Let me see here. I wonder if I can check messages here without leaving the call. Yeah, okay. Chapter return to meeting, and there we go. I don't think I left just there, did I? If I did, I don't know. I guess if I did, I did. I know there's a lot of you on different platforms out there, but yeah, let's see here. I rarely watch the chat and everything while we're on the air because it's just a distraction, really. It's hard to, have an extra tab open and read that when I'm talking and we're live on the air. So, and here's Mark.
Yeah, here I come.
Hey, Mark.
I thought
Right.
I thought Barry was in, but
No.
wow. What's going on?
I don't know. Let me check.
Let me try to ring him. I'll see if I can add him in.
God.
All right.
Mine's chat is so frustrating.
Yeah, he's up now. He just turned green, so let's see if he'll pick up the call now. Sorry to make you talk so much by yourself.
Oh, no, you like it.
Yeah, I did.
There he is.
Hey there, Barry. You okay? Everything all right over there? In Okie dokie land?
Last minute thing.
Can't hear you, bud.
Yeah, he's in a setup phase. I'll be up in a minute.
Yeah, I got to get that coffee going.
What was that?
Have that coffee ready to go.
I sure do.
I do too, man. Freshly ground, as a matter of fact. Starbucks, unfortunately, but hey.
Starbucks. Ew, yuck.
Yeah, but
Just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground.
That's right.
They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I'm so deeply saddened, and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now.
Okay.
You know what, man?
Mm.
I get it that what that guy's saying is important, but dude, we've been talking about this on the radio. What is it that I said maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a couple of months ago as well, that if Kamala Harris won, they'd be burning down churches and that they're still going to be attacking Christians. I said Christians are going to be the number one target. They're the number one persecuted group in the world. They're the number one target. And everybody just blows me off like I don't know what I'm talking about. But believe me, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Live and breathe this stuff, man. 24/7, 4 hours a day, every day, for 20 years now. Well, since 2000. Don't know what I'm talking. Almost 20 years. I found out the exact day that I woke up, man. It took me a while. I've been trying to find out what the day was. It was the day that Alex Jones went on Showbiz Tonight with AJ Hammer, and they've like buried that video, so I couldn't find out what year it was, and it was March 22nd, 2006, and it was that day that Alex Jones at the end was acting like a complete maniac, and I loved it. And he was like going, go to Infowars.com, Infowars.com, check it out. He was talking all about 9/11 and Charlie Sheen, and that's the day. And then I went there, and then within a 2-week period, I watched every single documentary that he'd put out for free, from Police State to there's 4 or 5 police dates, and I don't know if Endgame had been released yet, but all the ones that he had made, Bohemian Grove.
Wow.
I just binged him and I was like so captivated, and I was doubtful. Don't get me wrong, very skeptical going into it, but man, it was like I was searching at that time. I was like, man, I got to get some answers. Nothing makes sense. The fake news, I didn't know they were fake news at the time. What I noticed about the news before I woke up was they would have this sensational story that would get released, and it'd be like the biggest thing ever, and then you'd never hear anything else about it. You'd be some groundbreaking, thing where some whistleblower came forward and something got, and I'm like, what happened to that story? That was a huge story. And it was like they buried it or something, or someone told them to stop talking about it. And that's when I started thinking, man, something is amiss. And then when Alex Jones came in and started making sense, I was like, whoa, that sounds like a possible scenario. I remember my neighbor, the day that 9/11 happened, he was a truther, and he told me that it was probably an inside job. And I remember I had the mind of a normie. I thought he was nuts. I was like, well, why would they do that, man? That would be like a self-inflicted wound, And he tried to explain it to me, but I was having no part of it, dude. I would not believe it. I thought he was just kind of a nut job and unpatriotic, when in reality he was way more patriotic than I was.
Yeah. God.
I think there's going to be, probably more churches that are going to be attacked. And it does seem like, and it makes sense, because Joe Biden said the greatest threat to America are Catholics. And I don't know why they're choosing Catholics over Protestants. I think they hate all Christians pretty much in general. But they seem to really feel like Catholics are one of their enemies. One of their enemies.
And Quakers.
Maybe they have too much influence as far as like their pro-life stance, and that bothers them. I don't know. Because I don't even think the last pope who died, I don't even think he was pro-choice. And he was as liberal as you can get.
Yeah, exactly. He was he spoke out a few times against abortion.
Exactly. And in the same breath, he would say, join the New World Order, which was crazy. We must have a New World Order. Don't evangelize. Don't spread the good news, especially to Jews, he said. He literally said that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what's this guy all about, man? Is he like, makes you wonder about all those things, the dark pope and all that kind of stuff, the conspiracies. I have never really gone down that rabbit hole, so I don't know much about it, but I know there's talk about it. Like there's some strange things that go on in the Vatican. I'm not saying the whole Vatican. Glenn Beck talked recently. he talked about how he was meeting with some Catholic bishops, and he said they were really just like good people, like saints almost. You know, he was praising them, and then he said it was like the doors, two giant doors blew open, and instantly the room, he said, got like 10 degrees colder. And this guy comes in, this ominous figure, and he was like, man. And they were like, oh, you felt that too? And he's like, yeah. He was like, man. He goes, oh, yeah. Like, oh, you felt that too? They were like, yeah. He was like, man. He goes, oh, yeah. Oh, you felt that too? They was like, so I don't know what's going on there, but you should watch that with Glenn Beck. He talks about it, and he said the temperature literally changed like 10 degrees instantaneously in the room, and that there was this air of evil that was just spreading, and he had been in the midst of these really good people, so you know it would be a pretty big contrast to have evil walk in on good. It would be like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe there's some truth to some of those conspiracies. You know, maybe there's some dark stuff that goes on in the Vatican. I'm not saying everybody in the Vatican's bad, but you never know, man. There's something going on there.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, yeah, the church has done some nasty stuff in its past.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I mean, you can peg almost any time in history and point to something, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think the movie, The Book of Eli, is like the perfect depiction of how, you know, you can use good for evil purposes. You know, like the Denzel Washington character, he wanted to get the Bible to the rest of the world, to the printing presses, so that everybody could have it, because it was the last version of the Bible. And then there was this sort of dark figure, you call him like an antichrist figure, Gary Oldman, who wanted the Bible for himself as well, but not so he could enlighten people or empower people, but rather to use it to enslave people. And there's no question that religion can be used either way, either to empower people or to enslave people.
Oh yeah.
But that's a topic we could go down. That's a rabbit hole you could go down forever, man. You know, but that movie just really, I mean, captured it for me. I was like, wow, this is a really, I mean, it was amidst all the, you know, kung fu and fighting and all that, which was cool. I liked it. There was like this very complex storyline in it that you got to be somewhat enlightened to understand that kind of dichotomy that exists.
Mm. Yeah, it's been forever since I watched that movie. I do recall seeing it, but a long time ago.
I think Mila Kunis is in it as well.
Mm.
And Gary Oldman, of course, is just phenomenal, dude. That guy. I mean, I put him in my top 5 as far as actors go. I've seen him in so many different movies and play so many different roles. He can do just about anything.
Mm.
I mean, even his role as in Batman was good, where he plays what's the guy's name? What's the character's name in Batman? The mayor.
Chief.
I don't even
played
know
the
the actor
chief.
you're talking about, dude.
He played the chief. Yeah.
The chief. Yeah. Or Commissioner Gordon. That's what it was. Commissioner Gordon.
That's really, honestly, the only superhero movies I like
Oh,
are a couple of the Batman ones. But
I know
and
that meme of him laughing, right? That's the famous meme.
of Oldman laughing.
Is that who you're talking about? The guy that's laughing in that one meme they always play?
I haven't seen that. Were you talking about the younger guy that played the Joker? Maybe that's what you're talking about.
No, the chief. In Spider-Man, right?
No.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
You're talking about-
you're actually talking about Bruce Campbell's brother in that one.
Oh god,
Yeah,
that-
that's a different guy.
Yeah, you guys are way more into actors than I am. I would never. I've never even
No,
heard
it's
of any of
just
these people.
comics. I know the comics, and I kind of follow
Okay.
them, you know.
I'm into cinema, so you know.
Yeah.
But I haven't hardly seen any movies, man. I hardly watch any movies because I just don't think there's that many good ones anymore. But I just saw Denzel Washington say that he hasn't been to the theater or watched a movie in forever. It doesn't interest him.
Well,
He said,
Why would you go to a theater? Who goes to theaters nowadays? I mean, wouldn't you much rather rather sit at home and watch the movie in the comfort of your house than to go to a dirty movie theater and sit in there with elbow to elbow with strangers?
I think for most films, I'd rather see it at home, but I think that there are some films, the theater, it's almost a must. It's just because of the whole cinema experience with the sound and the immersion, and there's something about it.
It depends how good of a home system you have,
Well, yeah.
You got a 60-inch TV and sprouts on the 9 yards.
I don't know. I think there's always going to be some nostalgia to going to the show, but I would. No.
Okay.
If it was like a Roger Deakins film or something like that, the cinematography is just amazing. Of course, I'm going to want to see it on the big screen, dude. I even like the idea of going to the drive-thru, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I just like nostalgia. I grew up going to the drive-in, man. It was like the thing to do. And I just saw there was they were getting ready to tear down this drive-in, and somebody just barely scrapped up enough money to buy it, and now it's like thriving. It's like they're busy all the time. And then they really went over the top to try to make sure that they brought back the nostalgia of it all. So really get taken. It's kind of a blast to the past, and it's just everything. It's a cool experience. One here in Tulsa was where they filmed Outsiders. We had that one here with Patrick Swayze, Tom Cruise, Ralph Macchio, Emilio Estevez, what's the guy? C. Thomas Howell, all those people. They did a lot of the filming here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at one of our legendary drive-ins. It's not drive-throughs, drive-in.
Yeah. Drive-through is what you get at McDonald's.
You get the AI now when you go to the drive-through.
Yeah.
You get a person. Isn't that nice of them?
Isn't that nice?
I'm getting a little bit of scratchiness somewhere. Mark, are you picking that up?
No, I don't hear it at all over here. I don't.
Okay.
But Roger said it too, and I don't know where that's coming from.
We're going for that
nostalgic LP vinyl sound for the whole show. And I like it.
Right. I got kids.
Cassette tapes are making.
I got kids talking in the background, so that might be part of it too.
We're gonna switch rooms here in a minute anyway.
Yep.
Probably less than that.
The cassette tapes on eBay, some of them are going for $100, $200, $300, $500. Audio cassette tapes.
Jeez. That's just silly.
And nostalgia, man. So making a big comeback. LPs, audio. I would imagine 8-tracks are coming sooner than later. Although I feel like cassettes, the 8-track was supposed to be like the successor to the cassette, but I feel like the 8-track was worse.
All right, let's switch over to the next room. Let me get it going here.
All right, man.
See you in a minute, brother.
Yeah, and I'll see you on the other side. Everybody hang up.
Are you going to close the room like you always do?
Yeah.
Or should I close it myself?
All right, bye. Get everybody in here.
Okay.
Okay, how you doing? I'm super DJ. You like my masculine DJ voice? I'm should not like this the whole way with this kind of energy too. All right.
There, you sound great.
I sound great, man. Mark, how you doing, man, tonight? Are you doing all right? I said, Mark, are you doing all right?
I'm a little busy right now with. Oh, there we go.
That's what you get for coming 2 minutes late, man.
What? Who are you? You were the one that didn't start until later. I've been trying to call you since I started CS's call.
Yeah, Barry.
You lie.
30 seconds, guys.
I appreciate you. You're trying your best. Man. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
he just ignores me.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Well, I would too.
It doesn't even face it. Yeah, I would too. I would ignore me. I do ignore me.
I got a lot I'm working on right now, you know?
See how he's playing like he's doing something on the computer?
Here
See,
comes your
I-
countdown.
I-
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're live and on the radio side, like right
Right now.
now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition for August 27, 2025. That's right, August 27, 2025. And it's kind of been a rough day. Barry, how are you today, man?
Doing pretty good. Lots of doom and gloom here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's been raining all day. And, just kind of overcast. And it feels like London, like I said. But, hopefully we'll get some sun this week.
Yeah, I was mentioning before the show, we got a little bit of rain out here for the last few nights. And boy, is it wonderful. We haven't seen rain all summer. It just hasn't rained since like April. So we're looking at it like it's just fantastic. You guys probably got enough of it by now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had more than plenty.
Mm-hmm. And I mentioned that today was a bit of a rough day. There was a shooting at a school up in Minneapolis, and 2 children were killed. Well, there were 2 fatalities, plus the shooter died, as far as the way I'm reading it. So there was, 2 of the children and the shooter committed suicide. But Barry, this was one of those rare ones. This was actually a female mass shooter. We don't see that very often.
Actually, it was a transgender.
Oh, gosh, there it is. You're not supposed to
Yep.
say that.
Another transanity has struck again. Yeah.
On a church, on a Catholic school, they were in, mass at the
Right, they
time
were
in the
praying.
church,
Yeah, they were
and
praying.
he shot him through a stained glass window.
Yeah.
N-
Oh, this
it's
dude
just
is sick, man. I mean, did you see the video of him like a couple of hours he posted on social media before he went and did his dirty deed? He was laughing demonically as he combed over all of his ammo, and it was disgusting, man. I mean, this guy's
not.
personifying evil, dude. He had his whatever you call the little thing you stick in the gun. It said, "For the children." Ha 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 ha.
Oh, the clips. Yeah.
The clips
He had
thing.
one that said for Donald Trump or something. Just on and on. He saw these people as the enemy. The people that go to church are the ones that, tend to be against. I don't want to say trans rights, because I'm not personally against any trans rights. I don't think anyone in there is against trans rights. We're against shoving this stuff down the throats of little children.
Mm-hmm.
We're against doing that behind the parent's back. And then if the parents don't like it, you take the kid away from the parent. I'm dead against all that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think kids can't consent to puberty blockers.
Well, you
If
have
you're
to.
18,
They're just believing the lies of the mainstream media that they've been fed. I mean, because the mainstream media is all about being, bigoted and divisive, and so they believe all these things they say about the right, about Christians, and then they just get this anger, that they build up within these people. It's like winding them up so that they will go and kill. So I blame the media partially for this. I blame the Democrats, the far left, and the globalists, because this is part of their social engineering.
yeah. And, anyone on the left, I've seen, Billboard Chris, he has that sign on all the time that says children can't consent to puberty blockers. And people say it doesn't do any damage. You can go off them at any time and go right back to normal. But that's not true. It's a puberty blocker. If you don't go through puberty when you're supposed to go through puberty, you can't just go off them when you're 18 and expect to, your voice is going to change, your balls are going to drop, and, you're going to grow hair on your butt all of a sudden, right? You're not going to be the same man you would have been had you gone through puberty
ask the question.
It's crazy to say that there's no damage that's done by this stuff.
All the people that transition back even earlier messed up. They can't think, and especially like, you know, if they get their breast cut off or something like that. I mean, most of that is not really reversible, not in the way that it was intended to be.
Yeah, I mean, you can get breast implants like anyone could, right? Like, you know, you can have, but if they're removing the memories and all the functionality of it, then you can never breastfeed, you know?
Well, yeah, that and the sensitivity of it for a woman, I think that's gone as well. I mean, I've never met a single person that's transitioned back that's just said, oh, yeah, it's exactly as if I never transitioned. That is just never the case. Never, never, never.
And as I've said many, many times, they're specifically targeting gay men and lesbians, right? Gay men and women are being targeted because the minute they have that feeling that, hey, maybe I like boys or I like girls or whatever, boom, you're born in the wrong body. So there is a victim to all this, and it is the gay community. Just to put that out there. I think the LGB would do very well to distance themselves a bit from the T and push back on some of this stuff and say, hey, wait a minute, you know, you're targeting us. You're targeting the kids that are just like us. When I was a kid, you know, you talk to a gay man, he'll tell you, man, when I was a kid, I was confused. I like boys. I don't know why, you know, all of a sudden I'm, you know, 14, 15 years old and you like boys. Okay. That doesn't mean you're born in the wrong body. That doesn't mean you should transition to a woman. It means you're gay. That's it. There's a lot of gay people out there.
Well, just to give a little similar juxtaposition as to how insane all this is, even like in Iran and in different Middle Eastern Muslim countries, doctors would not cut off a person's hand. Like, say, for example, they got caught stealing and you know, in some radical areas, if you steal, they cut your hand off. But medical doctors in Muslim countries said, I am not going to cut off somebody's hand because it's freaking crazy, man. It's cruel and unusual punishment. It's wrong on every level. You don't go cutting off kids' genitalia either. I mean, the very fact that those Middle Eastern countries have a little bit more, you know, common sense as far as the medical doctors are concerned than our doctors who are willing to cut off the genitalia of a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old. That's sick, man. Those people need to be locked up in jail. They need to have their license taken away from them and no mercy because they are showing no mercy to our children.
Yeah. So what drugs was this shooter on? That's the next question we want to ask, right?
Yes,
What mix of cocktail drugs, you know, prescription drugs was this person on? Because that is where I want to point to first and foremost in every one of these shooters incidents, you know, is first and foremost, what drugs are they on? I bet you that's the most tangible and solid link you can have between all these school shooters. I bet money on.
Yeah, there's usually a few common links. Usually the drug thing is like almost 90%. And then smaller percentage, but still a pretty strong percentage, Satanism. A lot of them are into Satan. And this guy probably, I mean, he personified evil. There's no doubt, dude, he was a devil worshiper in my mind. I bet it'll come out he was.
Very well. I think he had some stuff on his Facebook timeline. I was watching Megyn Kelly this morning. She was talking about what they found on his timeline. And there was definitely some satanic stuff in there, for sure. So, bingo.
Yeah. I mean, it's not rocket science. None of this stuff is rocket science. It's just that most people don't want to look into it because it's scary to them. It sort of shakes their worldview, and then they go, wow, man, things are just not as stable as I thought they were. So they just would prefer to live in their little normie land, you know, la-la land, which is just not helping anything.
Yeah, and, you know, already within an hour or two, you got the usual suspects out there calling for gun control. This isn't about gun control.
Oh, no.
It's not even close. It's about what we're teaching our kids. It's about the fact that they've lost their grip on life, on living life, the family so broken. You know, that's another big common, you know, thing is no father figure. So many of these shooters, just, they don't have a father figure around.
Exactly.
Someone who's gonna, you know, whip their backside when they do the wrong thing, you know. And I mean, I don't want to see kids whipped per se, but I don't think a spanking is the end of the world. I've gotten a few of them, and it was more pomp and circumstance than it was pain, right?
Exactly. I mean, I totally support being able to spank your children. Of course, I'm not for any kind of abuse. I mean, so it has to be, there are lines that you could cross quite easily, probably. But let's not also forget lowering the rhetoric, man. That's also what it's about. The mainstream media continued to, talk about the right and trying to destroy democracy, white supremacy, transphobia, pushing all of these lies into mentally unstable people's minds, and it's winding them up and then sending them out to do the job, and that also gives them, it exonerates them from any evil. We didn't do that. I mean, think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Why hire someone to go out and do your dirty work for you when you could just wind them up?
You're right. You're so right. And it really is. It's just the press in this country is god awful. They'll tell the trans people, hey, they're fighting to take away all your rights. They're taking away the rights of women. Well, where? How? What are you talking about? What rights are we taking away? That you want the right to go into the girls' restroom and walk around naked in there with your thing hanging out? Well, that's not a right. That never was a right. We're not taking away that right from you. You never, ever had that right. Yeah. Don't get it mixed up. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it mixed up. Because it's ridiculous. They're trying to take away all our rights. No, man. You're just putting weirdo crap in the libraries. You're putting books in there that are just weird stuff. It's pedophilia. Literal pedophilia in books, in middle schools, in their libraries.
Yeah.
The parents have every right to be upset about that and demand it go away. That's not you losing your rights. That's some sicko put the book in there and people found it and now they want it out. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to accuse us of what they're actually really doing. They're the ones really banning books and movies. Anything that gets too close to the truth, like anything about pedophilia, they ban that stuff, man. But you remember what you and I were talking about on the other show about how they were talking about, the left was talking about, let's downplay, using these words. I mean, that's a fringe people. They're going to keep, because look, we have predicted over and over and over again, at least I know I have, that they're going to double down on their insanity. They're going to sound more crazy than ever before. And like you were saying, and I was saying just a few days ago, they were saying at the DNC, at one of their little meetings, who cares about crime? Who cares about carjacking? Who cares about, not being able to go out at night and be safe? Who cares about any of that? What matters is, and then blah, 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 all their leftist insanity.
Yeah. I saw that. That was ridiculous. I might even have that clip somewhere up, but I don't want to get to it quite yet. But yeah, no, I swear they had this like a DNC summer meeting, and it was just a disaster. Tim Waltz out there acting the fool,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just these people are not learning anything. They're not going back. And they're only getting more and more crazy, and it's out there for everyone to see.
I mean, just 2 weeks ago, we talked about that. You and me talked about how they're going to show their true colors. They're not going to retreat. They're going to show you who they really are, what they really stand for, and that is coming out, man. And it's ugly, dude, because all of their policies and what they really believe deep down inside is incredibly ugly. I don't even think it's so much, I hate Orange Man. It's I've got ugliness inside of me and I want to let it out and I want to bring it onto the whole world. Just like the globalists. They want to bring their ugliness and their dystopian nonsense to the whole world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is just on full display. 80-20. 80-20 on so many issues, and they just push hard into the fringes, most insane aspects of the 20%, unfavorable issues. It's it's mind-boggling to watch. Like I said, today, let's ban every gun in the country because of the shooting. Well, no, that's not the problem. The gun didn't do the shooting. The crazy person did, and that's just not an issue everyone's going to support. Do you know how many guns? What is there? Like, there are 300 million of us. I think there's 3 guns per person in this country. So nearly 1 billion guns. You're just going to get rid of those? Where are they going to go? How are you even going to come close to disarming the United States of America?
Mm-hmm.
It's comical to even hear them think they can do it. And yet it's one of those issues that they can keep pounding on because they know they can never do anything about it, and they know they'll never be expected to do anything about it. But if they can go out and beat the drum all the time, then it makes them sound compassionate. You know?
That's the key. It makes them sound compassionate. And they fake it.
Mm-hmm.
Really not even very well anymore. Did you see the Gavin Newsom where he was talking about, I'm sensitive because of this, I'm sensitive because of that? And it's like, when you have somebody that doesn't care about anybody whatsoever other than their own selfish ambition, and we've seen that happen with Gavin. I mean, just look at California and the Palisades and all of that. The dude doesn't care for anybody but himself. So when he gets up there and tries to pretend like he's sensitive and cares about other people, it's ridiculous. Nobody believes it, not even the people on the left, dude. And he's making all these Rick Astley dance moves and doing weird stuff with his hands like Bill Gates. I mean, there's something wrong with that guy.
Yeah, I mean, let's think about the Palisades, right? Altadena as well. The parts of Altadena that I've seen are pretty nice. You know, real nice homes out there, man. Palisades is on another level, though. Right by the ocean, right? It's the gateway to Malibu. It's right there near Sunset and it's just perfect location with multi-million-dollar homes. The lots are multi-millions. The homes a lot of them are 3,000 square feet. They're not huge, or but they're still $5-10 million, right? It'd be, I don't know, 300,000-400,000 in Tulsa. They're 3-4 million, 5-8 million out there, So these people have money, and I'm talking money, big money, right?
Oh yeah.
And your house burns down, and so what do you want to do? Boom, let's rebuild. Let's go. Here's a check. How much? You know what I mean? The house isn't the expensive part of the whole deal. It's the land that makes it so expensive. People knock up 3,000 square foot homes in, a couple months. They build entire subdivisions of them in the summer. Why hasn't LA rebuilt? Why haven't they even pulled the permits yet? It's never going to be rebuilt. And these are a lot of really rich people who could snap their fingers and have more trucks going in and out of there than you could even imagine. That place should be a beehive of construction, and it's not. It's a ghost town, and they're eyeing public housing in there now.
Yeah.
Again, because it's such a great location. Why not put the homeless in there?
Yeah, they're building that low-income housing, man. So anyway, they're pretty much showing their colors, I don't know. They say one thing, oh yeah, we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen fast, the Mayor Adams said, and none of it ever happens, man. I mean, I don't understand. If I was a Democrat, I would be so ticked off at the Democrats right now. But for some reason, they just keep gathering around them and supporting them. It seems really weird to me, but I'm pretty thankful that at least some of them are waking up to it and saying, man, there's something really wrong here, and maybe I need to consider being an independent in the least. Maybe not a Republican, but an independent.
Yeah, just something different, something different, something. And MAGA is that. It truly is. It's not Republican, really. Donald Trump is not. The Republican Party isn't what it used to be. If it was, John Bolton would be celebrated. Instead, he's being investigated, right?
Yep. You got it.
And the old Republican Party, the party of Dick Cheney and John Bolton, is dead.
Mm-hmm.
The rhinos, we know who they are, and they can all go fly a kite. Heck, we can add Trey Gowdy to the list, if I'm not mistaken. Now, calling again for gun control after this shooting today. So, yeah, no, it is rebuilding. It's becoming something much, much, much better than it was. But it's still, it's got a long way to go. And I almost could see what's happening in the U.S. with the Tories and Labor happening here, where the two parties just kind of they fall out of relevance. And people start looking for new parties that again, if Trump started a MAGA party, I think 80-90% of the Republican Party would change their registration in side of a week, right? Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to watch, man.
What do you think about the Democrats? I think that, and tell me what you think, because I think that when they look at a Chucky Schumer or a Nancy Pelosi, they look at those people kind of like we looked at the rhinos, and then they look at their populist movement. Like we look at maybe, I don't know, whoever, right, that's on the right, that's populist, right?
Like the Squad.
They look at them like the Squad, but that's not populism, man. That's communism, Marxism, you know, regressivism. It's everything backwards. So that's why they're failing, because if they had a real grassroots movement that was pro-America and pro-freedom and you know all the things they used to stand for, they would be a real competition with us. But right now there's no competition. They have no chance at winning, even if Trump kind of falls out of the good graces of some of the Republicans, because nobody wants to put a Democrat in because they will tank it. Look, this shooting, this mass shooting at this Catholic place, the Catholic church, it was a leftist, you know, fantasy world. It was consistently they vote Democrat, you know, in that area, and they are very left leaning. And lots of activism that goes on there as far as leftist activism and stuff like that. It's a leftist hellscape. And that's where most of this stuff, and we've said that over and over again, that most of the craziness is going to happen in these leftist hellscapes. It'll happen also in other places as well. But 90% of the time, all the insanity is going to happen where there is no more rule of law, because this is like a free pass for the crazy people to go in and do whatever they want to do, because they also think they might be able to get away with it. But this guy, he shot himself and killed himself because he's even weaker than, you know, standing trial.
And, you know, in the last administration, there was the trans shooter in Tennessee, and they took the manifesto and hid it from the public for like a year and change, right? I think it wasn't until Trump got into office that they actually released it.
Is it in its full? Have we seen it, the fullness of it, though? I don't even know we've seen all.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? This guy, same thing. He's probably got some manifesto tucked up his sleeve, and you know, now, fortunately, with a rational government in place, they'll hopefully release it so the world can see this craziness firsthand, and what drove this person to this level of just a psychosis, that they would go and kill little kids, man, in church. Who does that? What kind of evil do you have to have in your heart to even consider doing that?
And it wasn't random, because like you said, he had it on his clip, man. This one's for the children. These are very sick and disturbed people. There's a lot. Remember what I talked about a couple of shows ago? I said, I'm doing a whole series just on there are monsters among us, because there are. And people need to be aware there are crazy monsters among us. And I would put Bill Gates in that category as well, Klaus Schwab in that category, and a whole bunch of Harari. Those people are monsters, man. Absolute monsters. Probably Diddy, probably Epstein. Those are monsters. And they're living among us, man, walking among us. And they're not being held accountable, right, for many of the crimes against humanity that they've committed. They're still walking free. That's what's insane.
Yeah. A lot of them are. I mean, heck, we just saw Trump today talk about putting RICO charges on George Soros and his son and many of the people that are involved with his organization for, you name it. I mean, let's just throw the book at them. You know, subversion, treason, actively participating in a potential to create and cause a revolution in the United States and many other countries around the world. Many other countries. I mean, boy, if you start throwing the book at this guy, he's, I mean, the top of the pile of evil on the planet. You know, when you say evil walks among us, George Soros is like the first name that should come to mind. You know, and his prodigy, Alex, who just married Uma Abedin, who was Hillary Clinton's right hand woman for most of her career. So, you know, all these people walk in the same circles. They have that power right in their hands. Anthony Weiner was her ex.
Yeah, that's a real
Carlos Danger, I think, was his alias. But anyway, folks, we're about out of time. We're going to go take a break right now. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show. We'll be right back with more right after this.
Good job, guys.
Good old Wiener.
Yeah.
He's a good old guy.
Carlos Danger.
He goes on like some of the right-wing podcasts now, and he just gets obliterated every time he goes on one of their shows.
Yeah, I might have seen him on Patrick Bet David a while back.
Exactly.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
You know, I want to know
the
if
same damn fool he's always been. Yeah.
Police officer saw that laptop and They all threw up. There was so much.
Are you guys getting any of that scratchy sound yet, or is that all gone?
We were, and when it happened, your mic would light up. And it almost sounded like something wasn't quite plugged in, or like you had a ferret chewing on a wire, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't. It seemed to go away further into the show. Like the first 5 minutes, it was more noticeable. But then
Well, we didn't have any problems when I switched rooms. It could have been. It could have been when I was refreshing pages. I don't know, taking away.
No, you were
some
sitting
bandwidth
back.
and
You
things
didn't
like
seem.
that, but I doubt that.
Yeah, you didn't seem to be doing it. You seemed to be just kind of sitting back when it was happening.
Veterans
Like
Radio says
you're
the
leaning up
static
the
keeps
cord.
starting and stopping. I don't know. Is it coming from me?
Well, I turned my
Looks like it.
so it's not coming from me. I did check my for and it's not me because when I turned it down, I could still hear it going on.
Yeah, Mark, you would light up when it happened.
Okay.
Because you light up my life, bring me joy.
Wow, Mark.
Mark, you bring me joy.
Mark's getting a serenade tonight.
You light up
Well,
my days.
I don't know. I mean, Roger a couple weeks ago was trying to say that I'm a handsome man. I'm like, okay, well,
Come
not
on to you,
the
man.
radio, man.
I'm concerned, man.
Yeah, I am. You know, I'm
He's
like,
single. He's single, man. You know, he's making those
yeah,
moves.
he was, and I said, I think you got the wrong Mark. I know he always targets our good buddy Medworthy, but you know, hey, I told him I think he needs to get some new glasses, buddy. He is restreaming, so I know he's listening to us.
Oh man.
I'm glad David Hogg isn't around right now.
He would definitely
No.
he would escalate that to the next level for sure.
I would definitely have to up my Minds tokens until they're all gone. Well, you know. Oh, he said, no, he didn't say I was a handsome guy. He said I'm a beautiful man. I'm like, Roger. No. Yeah. Leave it to Roger.
So, did Mr. Rogers say it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, or
Yeah, and then he said, would you be mine, could you be mine, and won't you be my neighbor?
or it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood?
No, it is. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I think that's one of the top Mandela effects, they say.
Yeah, well, anyways, you know.
Every now and then when I get bored going down the real rabbit hole, I'll go down these crazy ones just for fun.
Thank God the clock is still ticking down and we've got seconds to go.
Gotta love
I
it,
want
man.
this to be a nice, quick night like we've been doing, but I don't know. It's starting to slow down a little bit for me right now. I'm like, uh-oh. Anyways, we got about 30 seconds until we come back on air. Just
Okay,
for your information.
FYI.
Yeah. Oh, they're getting ready to ban acronyms. Censorship was talking about that on Sunday night, so be careful about acronyms, folks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any other ones?
Anyways, here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. For August 27, 2020, we got with us Bullhorn Barry in the house. What's going on, Barry? What's new?
Wow, I don't know, man. Just trying to keep all the news, you know, and see what's happening around the world. Nothing too particular. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you always ask me questions when I'm not ready for them. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, we're just coming back in, and you should expect
I need
some
to
sort of banter.
have a canned answer, right, that I just give out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Most of the time, when someone asks how they're doing, they just say, fine.
I could
How
go
are
into
you?
my super DJ voice. Like
Hey, thanks, man. Everything's going great, man. I got in a jog this morning, and everything's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work for you?
It all works, man. Whatever you do, it's just like you got that Midas touch. You know, it just turns to gold. You're the opposite of woke.
Oh my goodness. What does it turn to when Willie does it though?
Oh, what comes out the back end of a worm?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, let's dive into another story here that's making big waves all over the world, really, is this 12-year-old girl in Scotland who was out brandishing a machete and an axe. And she's getting filmed by some immigrant who is taunting her. That's right, show the knife, raise it up. That, just taunting her. Her sister keeps saying she's only 12 years old. Leave her alone, leave her alone. She's 12 years old. And this girl is scared to death. She's got a look on her face like, man, this isn't going to happen again kind of look. I know what you want to do, and you ain't getting away with it. You're not going to touch me. Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me was what they kept yelling. Stay away.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a society are you making when your 12-year-old girls feel the need to be armed to the hilt to walk down the sidewalk of their neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a world are we creating? Are we letting to happen? I don't say we, because Barry, you and I aren't letting this happen, and the English people aren't even letting this happen. It's being done unto them by their so-called elected leaders.
They're representatives.
And I say so, yeah. They have a representative government filled with people like Keir Starmer, who deserves he deserves to walk one day in her shoes, and then stand up there after feeling the fear that this young lady went through, to put her in a position where she had to grab a hatchet and a machete to think she's safe walking down the road. And so what did the police do?
They arrest her.
Well, you know what the police did?
Probably arrested her.
They did. They arrested her.
Yeah, I knew that, but I wanted to pretend like I didn't, because that is exactly what you would expect to happen. That's how they operate, right? They arrest the good guy and let the bad guy go.
The victim.
Yep.
I mean, call her the bad guy, the good guy, I don't care. She's the victim here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened. They had a history. Because she wouldn't have just gone and got these weapons. And the first thought I had was these probably weren't hers. She probably knew where some of these people had stashes of weapons and just grabbed a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shocking. So the memes are going crazy. They've got this girl dressed up with the Scottish flag on her face in paint, holding the two weapons. It's I've seen some very powerful memes. Let's call them powerful. That, that's what memes are supposed to be. They're supposed to be powerful. They're ways for us to just communicate with one simple image. Very, very powerful messages. And again, this is another one of them. We talked about that guy that got arrested for saying "I like bacon" out in front of a migrant hotel somewhere. The big protest out there. He yells, "I like bacon," and then boom, the cops immediately grab him, put him in cuffs, and haul him away. And so now the memes are all about the British flag made out of bacon. Every other country is making their flags out of bacon. There's just a million bacon-related memes going on right now, and it's sort of becoming the symbol of freedom in the UK is bacon.
I mean, if you got a problem with bacon, right, why would you come to a nation where people like to eat bacon and it's free to eat bacon, right? There's no restrictions on eating bacon. You can't come over to America and dictate your rules and laws because your religion says pork is evil or something like that. Mm-hmm. Bacon is a staple of American food. You know what I'm saying? For breakfast, for lunch. I mean, shoot, they they put ice cream with bacon now. It's that loved. So, you know, if you don't like it, don't come over here, man. We don't want people that cannot assimilate or who have this crazy idea that they're going to change us. No, you're not going to change us because we are a free and open society. And if you don't like that, go back to your repressive country.
Exactly. I love cheeseburgers, but man, you give me a bacon cheeseburger, that's next level. You know, that's just next level. I just got some bacon the other day.
Mignon with the bacon wrapped around it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those are delicious.
For sure.
Yeah. On and on and on. Bacon is just good. And it's funny, too, because they're fighting over bacon over there. And they don't even have bacon. They got ham or something.
Yeah.
You know, they have the Canadian version of bacon.
I was listening to somebody that went, I think it was Wes Huff, that went over to Israel. Somebody, anyway. And he went to see all the, you know, Christian holy sites and stuff. But a lot of the areas that he was in those areas are Muslim now, right? And so it was all, you know, Muslim food. So he couldn't get any American food. And he was like, man, where can I get some bacon, you know? And there was one place that he could get the bacon, hidden back in a dark hole somewhere. And his tour guide took him there. And he was like, man, just to get some American food and some bacon in me, it was just like, it just made the whole trip worthwhile.
Yeah. If you think about where Jesus lived and whatnot, Jerusalem is about as far west as he ever made it, right? And the when they say from the river to the sea, they're talking about the Jordan River and the Sea of Galilee,
right?
The Dead Sea. That's, you know, the territory Galilee was his main, you know, area out there where he had his church. So yeah, that's all Muslim controlled land now, you know, pretty much all of it. Bethlehem, you know, Jerusalem is holy unto Christians and, you know, Jews and, you know, Muslims, because the other two religions like it so much, they had to get in there and, you know, take it over. But
I guess they look at it this way, you know, anything that's a temptation, they just have to eliminate. Okay, women, they're a temptation, so we just black curtain over them completely. You know, pork, because you can imagine the smell of bacon, dude, just being, you know, piped out into the public. That'd be hard to resist, man. Just say, let's get rid of it all, man. Get rid of the women, get rid of the bacon, get rid of it all, because it's a temptation.
Yeah, you're going by someplace, it's like, man, that smells good. What is that? Oh, ribs? Pork ribs? But it smells so good, you know? Open a Texas barbecue, like authentic, you know, Texas barbecue in London, and they'll run you out of town because it's not halal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Crazy.
It's changed a lot. The BBC did an article the other day on, I can't remember the name of the beach, some famous tourist spot, and they showed images of it from, you know, like the 60s, 70s to what it looks like today. And it's just, you know, it used to be English people, you know, just British English, right? White people. Today there's no British people there. It's all burqas, literally full burqas at the beach. People sitting around in circles wearing full burqas with just a little slot over their eye at the beach.
And I mean, imagine if it's like super duper hot, because black is like the hottest color to have. Like I said, man, can they like dress them up in some floral stuff or maybe some spring flowers? But no, it's got to be like a funeral. You know, they got to treat their woman like death itself, right?
And they're thick too, you know.
A reaper, so they can just walk around like they're, you know, the reaper.
Yeah, and you know, you think about it though. If you're going to complain about it in England, you know, hey, let's go back to Saudi Arabia, right? You see how you like it there when it's 115, you know. So you know, England.
You're out in the desert in some of those places. I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a black bodysuit, a black blanket. I mean, everything covered, even your eyes. Like a lot of the times, you know, they have this little sort of like a screen, you know, like you'd have a screen door. It's like that. So you can't see their eyes, but they can see out. But when they see out, they're probably seeing out like a fly would see. You know, it's about that kind of quality, because it's like a grid that they're looking through.
And the amount of garbage they left behind too. Like every night they have to send crews out there to clean it up because nobody throws anything out. They just leave it all right there on the ground. Right? Just complete lack of respect. Absolute, complete, and total lack of respect for the beach. When you go to the beach, you don't pollute. You know? You don't. You're out there with all your friends and everything. When you leave, you pick up your garbage, you throw it out in the trash can, and then you get in your car and you go home.
I mean, people are just like really rude these days. There's a lot of people that are extremely rude, have no manners whatsoever. Have you seen that video of the guy on the bike that's riding the wheelie? Have you seen that guy?
I'm not sure. Keep going.
Well, he's like riding on the sidewalk, and he's like, people are just walking by, right? And he'll ride right up to them riding a wheelie with his, like, he's turning the wheel up front like he's crazy, and he'll turn it like at the last second, like where the wheel just comes, maybe a couple inches away from the person. Could have just knocked him over. Old people, young people. I mean, and then he does it on the road as well. He's just this. I mean, what's wrong with people? Like, what are they doing? Like, what is compelling people to do such bizarre and insane and dangerous things? I don't get it, man. There's something happening, man. And I know a lot of people say, well, maybe he got too many jabs or something, but I think there's something spiritual happening, and that's just my opinion. But I think people, if they just look hard at it, it does seem like there's this light and dark thing happening, good and evil sort of battling it out. And that's why we can never surrender. We can never surrender, because the darkness, man, these people that are all about darkness and evil, they are relentless, man. They never back down. They have to literally be defeated.
Yeah, I watched another one of those videos today. Fleckus Talks put it out, where he goes out and just interviews people, asking them very, very easy questions. How many months in a year? Can you name them? No chance. Just no chance.
Simple stuff.
Really simple stuff.
Yeah.
Holding up a clock that's like it says it's 10 to 3, 2:50, and what time is this? And just one after the other couldn't answer at all what an analog clock, says. Just depressing. How many moons do we have?
Well, I don't know, man. I saw that sci-fi movie. I saw 4 or 5 moons in one, so we got to have at least 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, have you ever gone out at night and looked up? How many moons do you see? You see one for sure. I've never really seen any other ones. I've heard that there's several other additional ones, but that's a little bit out there. Could be true, could not. I don't know. I'm surprised Mark hasn't jumped in yet.
We're waiting for you, Mark.
Yeah, but it's a sad thing. There's another channel that does a series of these. He's constantly going to different universities, and honestly, the kids that are going to these schools, they just don't know anything. It makes you wonder, how in the world are you going to college when you don't know how many dimes are on a dollar?
Yeah. Well, here in Oklahoma, we're taking away the phones from the kids during school time, and I think that's a great idea. That's a big distraction. That's a big problem. That's probably, I don't know, degeneracy at all the different levels is a real thing, man. And I even made a meme that said degeneracy is a real problem, because it is, man. And ignorance is a real problem as well. People don't have any knowledge anymore. The only thing they know stuff about is Hollywood or some football team or some celebrity. They can tell you everything about some Hollyweirdo, but they know nothing about anything that really matters.
Oh, yeah. They'll ask them, can you name the Kardashians? And they'll rattle them off the top of their head, But can you name the president of the United States or the vice president? Not a chance. Can you name a country? What's a country? One of them said. What do you mean by a country? What's a country?
Define a country for me.
Yeah.
I know we're asking you what a country is.
It's one thing to not be able to name like 3 countries, but it's another thing to not know what a country is.
Sure.
That's just like next level stuff. Like how, and I bet they all have high school degrees.
Dude, when I was in elementary school, we had to learn all 50 states, all the state capitals, the national, everything. That's like basic, like 5th grade stuff. I don't think it's stuff anymore, but it used to be.
I've got here in front of me a grammar school examination for the 8th grade from 1899 to 1901. Okay. And I mean, I could, like geography, name the states in which each of the following is found: the source of the Mississippi, the source of the Missouri, the Hudson River, Cleveland, Springfield, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Leadville, wow, Great Salt Lake, and Nashville. Okay, not too hard. I could do that one. Name the countries of South America with capital cities. That's not too hard because South America is just, not that big. There's not a lot of countries, but would I get every capital right? Yeah, probably. But again, now the next one, Europe. Name the countries of Europe with the capital cities. I don't think I could do that one. There's just so many. I mean, I think if I systemically went around, I could probably, it'd take me a while, but never the capital cities too.
Well, if somebody should be able to answer that question, it should be like a middle school or a high school or a college student, because that's fresh memory if they're being taught right. Now, like someone like you or me, we probably forget about it, a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're studying the maps of the world, but, we probably should refresh ourselves on that every now and then. Just get a map out and look at it.
A post 3 feet high casts a shadow 4.5 feet long. What would the height of the pole? What would the height of the pole that casts a shadow 120 foot long? What is the height of it if the shadow is 120 feet long? A 3-foot one has a 4.25 foot shadow. So now the shadow is 120 feet long. How tall is the pole? An 8-inch cube was molded into a sphere. Find the diameter of the sphere. Eighth grade stuff.
Yeah.
A note for $500 bears interest at 8% per annum. It's dated November 3rd, 1897, and is due March 12th, 1899. On its back is endorsed July 15th, 1989, paid $200. Due 1898, paid $150. What sum will be due at maturity?
Well, you're the math man, so you this should be all easy for you.
Well, you give them a HP 12C, and I can knock that one out in a couple strokes of the buttons. You give me a regular calculator, and I've got to manually multiply that out through the years, but they didn't have calculators in 1899, so they had to do it all long form by hand.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's, you know what I mean? So you got to go through each year and, add an additional 8% interest to the sum. I assume this is compounding, right?
Well, I think that's an argument with people. It's like, well, with modern technology, we don't really need to know all that stuff. But, if things go bad, we have some sort of EMP that takes down the electrical grid, or even a storm or something like that, or a nuclear war or something. How well are you going to survive, if you don't know certain basic stuff?
And social media would be the first thing. I mean, people really do get addicted to that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, they just, if they don't have access to that, it's going to take them a number of days of just being, almost like coming down off heroin to a degree to be able to start socializing. And then at that point, they're still not going to be very good at it because they haven't had to do it in the way, in person up front.
Yeah. Well, all those people that are online that are like that just all they do is online, they're like harsh, right? They will say the rudest things. And then they get in the real world, they'll say nothing in front of a person to their face because they're really weak. Most of those people that talk real big on the internet are some of the weakest among us. Like they got in a real community, they would be quiet. They'd be silent. They would not know how to even socially interact because they're just kind of just like, cut downs. That's all they do is they come on the internet just to cut down people, right? Make fun of people, say horrible stuff. That's just what some people do for full time.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's just crazy how much our society has changed for the worse. In 1899 as well, if you went to school with a rifle over your shoulder, nobody blinked. And school shootings didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if the teacher would say, hey, why don't we put that behind my desk? I think they'd just say, like, make sure that thing ain't loaded. But they wouldn't even have to say that because a kid that age would know not to, have it one in the chamber at least,
Well, what causes a lot of the problems? A lot of these people that are sort of rowdy, they don't think there's going to be any negative repercussions for what they do. So they just keep acting out and acting out. So the discipline is gone. And that's a real problem, man, you know. And then when they do bad, they coddle them, you know, they don't spank them. They say, oh, it's, you know, you have a sickness, man. We'll give you some drugs. You'll be fine. We'll just numb and dumb you down and you'll be fine. We'll give you some 80, what's that, the stuff to make you focus and concentrate in school. What's that called? 80.
Ritalin or
Ritalin, yes.
Ritalin.
So that's false.
I think they've got way more powerful stuff than that nowadays, though.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what they give kids back in like the 90s and 2000s. I think today they've jacked that stuff up to like, you know, the nth degree, you know, where Ritalin they wouldn't even notice they're on Ritalin nowadays. They'd just be like, this is nothing. Yeah. And I honestly, that's the biggest connection that all these shooters have. It's the number one thing. It's the drugs. They're all on some crazy psychotic prescription that melts their brains.
Most of the time, pharmaceutical drugs and psychotropic drugs.
Yeah, precisely. It just fries their brain to the point where they can't tell the difference between good and evil.
Yeah.
You know, and
you lose like discernment. Perhaps even reality. You know, they sort of disconnect from reality. A lot of these people do, well, because I've watched documentaries on these people that are like psychopaths like that. They disconnect from reality and they're living in their own bubble of just, you know, it's a crazy fantasy world. And they see that fantasy world as the real world.
Yeah. And that's the scary part. You know, if you think you're living in a video game, then what's to stop you from doing whatever you want?
Yeah, and there's that guy that thought he was in the Matrix, remember? And that he could kill his parents and they wouldn't really die because they were just, you know, I guess jacked in somewhere when the robots had him. And he literally bought into all that and believed it. And he mass murdered his mother and his father. And I think he's like, he may have been released because, you know, he was, I guess they, you know, how they say, oh, he's mentally insane, so he can't really stand trial. I think it was one of those deals, but I can't really remember. Essentially, he thought that we're all trapped in the Matrix. Like a literal world. And of course, you have Elon Musk telling people the same stuff. So it's kind of dangerous telling people this stuff, in my opinion. I mean, it's a great way to look at things metaphorically, but to literally start playing with people's mind and telling them they're stuck in the Matrix, that's pretty scary, dude. That freaks some people out that have no critical thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the ones that we got to watch out for, you know? Sure. I mean, it's just amazing how much the world's changed from 1899, if you think about it. You know, I mean, they didn't even really have phones back then. You know, it was just it was like watching Bonanza or something. You know, you ride a horse around. You got a horse and buggy, pretty much as the modern, you know, the telegram was out.
Yeah.
You know, but otherwise they sent mail on trains and, you know, horses.
Look how they gathered around the radio when it first came out. They gathered around the radio shows like it was like the greatest thing. And then they came out with the black and white TV and they gathered around the TV. And then they came out with the color TV and they gathered around the TV. And it's just been like one like major distraction after another to where there's no real interaction happening anymore. I mean, you have the phone now, you have the internet now, you have the television. I mean, you've got all of these distractions so that nobody's having any real human connection anymore. And no wonder people, you know, only have one or two friends or zero. Some people have zero friends, which is really sad, man. And I don't think they should feel bad about that because honestly, people are just not that open anymore. They're just kind of closed. They put the walls up, you know, and it's gotten even worse since the shamdemic. So I've been trying to just get myself out there more and more, be more social, because I understand the importance of that for my soul and for others as well. Because not only do I want to take, I want to give of myself too to others, man. That's you know, you got to pay it forward. All the good that's been done to you, you want to pay it back.
Yeah, and we don't have enough of that in the world nowadays. But anyway, folks, on that note, let's wrap up hour one of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show right here. But stay tuned. We'll be right back with hour two right after these messages.
All right, we're on radio break, folks.
Have we brought the doom and gloom tonight or what?
Oh no, you don't get doom and gloom until you get Jack, man. The end is here, you know.
We should do a promo picture of all of us and have signs that say the end is here, you know, have us standing out. We can do it with AI, have us standing out in the street corner of New York City.
The end is here, but the end of what, you know?
It could be the end of a lot of things, man.
Yeah, well, it was the end of the age of Pisces. Now it's we're going into the age of Aquarius. Of course, it's the end.
I mean, yeah.
That's biblical, too.
Well, you know, there's a big thing going on right now, which I totally disagree with, but it's really circulating, going viral on YouTube and different places where people are saying the rapture is going to take place September 23rd or September 24th. And they have this whole theory behind it. And I mean, it's an interesting theory. I mean, it's an interesting chain of events, I guess I should say. And somehow they've taken this interesting chain of events and tried to connect it to the rapture. But anybody that reads their Bible knows that the resurrection and the rapture cannot happen until the Antichrist has been revealed. So all these people that believe that the Christians, like myself, are going to be raptured out before the tribulation are going to have a rude awakening, in my opinion, because we have to endure just like we've endured everything. Everybody, I mean, that's the trial by fire that's expected of Christians, right? We're expected to go through fire. I think Jesus said that every person will be baptized with fire, seasoned with fire. And so, I mean, that's how we have growth. That's how we show our loyalty, our faithfulness to God and to humanity. You know, you got to go through the tough times. And yeah, you're going to have good times too, more good times than bad times. But this idea that you're going to escape, that's something that got introduced by Scofield. The early church fathers did not embrace that theology. In fact, you can look and see.
Well, let's move on over to the next room. All right. So.
All right. See you guys there.
All right. And get this up and rolling. Rolling. Wait a minute here. I gotta add to peoples. That's what it is. There we go.
It's funny when you just call me normally and I don't have the meeting app open. The accept button's on the right, but when I have the app open, the right one is declined for whatever that's worth.
I don't know, but it works. Weird. It's working.
Well, it's weird they wouldn't have consistency with it and just keep the accept on the right both times, you know.
Yeah, I noticed they did this slide thing too if you're on like a desktop. So, you know, there's some other stuff that's going on that they, you know, when they do the update. So, I don't know. Strange. Strange days indeed.
Anyway, thinking I'm going to do a post on that whole topic if I get the chance. I just don't like making them because all the Christian pre-tribbers, they just come at you with so much hate, man. It's unbelievable, right? I mean, it's like solid doctrine to these people. They swear by it. That, you know, we're going to be rescued. We're not going to have to endure any hardship or anything. That's for the bad people.
Hellbob's coming again. Wait for the mothership.
Hellbob was crazy, dude.
Hellbob.
Oh, let's talk about crazy, man. Did you see where the orgy room got demolished at the man? And then right after that, there was this hellish lightning and storm that followed that just basically made Burning Man hell on earth for a while.
Made it mud again.
Yeah, but the next day, I guess it was pretty good. I watched a video of some guy going around. You know, it was actually a real sunny day, mostly blue skies, real clouds, and just people setting up and stuff. And But man, they had a vicious sandstorm, windstorm, 50+ mile an hour winds. The orgy room got destroyed.
Dude, I camped out in Nevada in the desert in this like dry lake bed, and it was so cool. There was a hot spring on one end of it, and it was like 2-3 miles across this flat, dried up lake bed to get to where the hot springs were. And you could just gun it. I mean, I was in a Suburban. It didn't go very fast, but I was hauling butt out there, kind of getting sideways, turning a little bit, like fishtailing at about 75. It was fun, dude. It was so fun. And then Blue and I just parked in the middle of the thing and crashed out there for the night.
Well, you know, the Burning Man has like 70,000
I can just
people.
picture Blue's head hanging out the window with her tongue all the way back at the end of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Just eating that up. I bet she loved it.
Oh, yeah.
You could take Blue to Burning Man,
No.
She wouldn't like it.
I know, I don't think. Well, here's the thing that I had about Burning Man. 72,000 plus people show up. And the only thing that came to my mind was bathrooms. And they're those porta potties, man. Can you imagine?
Man, that Willie, he makes a
7 to
killing
10
at
days
Burning Man. Don't you know that?
Using those porta potties? I couldn't do it, dude.
You'd need like 20,000 of them, too,
I don't even want to think about it. All those people, some of them probably not hygiene. Their hygiene may not be the best. I mean, eventually you're going to have some people with bad hygiene when you got 72,000 people there, and probably not a lot of shower facilities, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, none.
So you got all these people wrapping in the same little porta potty. I don't know, man. I couldn't do it, dude. I was just thinking about it. I couldn't do it.
Dude, water out there can get really expensive. Like $5-10 a bottle. If you don't bring it up your own, you get screwed.
Now they're saying everything's free. Nobody pays for anything because it's real expensive to get in. It's like a charitable gift giving thing. But then the guy founded it. He said it's not really about charity. He said because goodwill means nothing. He said it's all about the struggle to survive. I thought, what a terrible message to tell people that goodwill isn't really that important. We don't really have it. We get along in community because it's like an experiment. He looks at it as an experiment for community and how community should work. And I guess it only works best, in his opinion, is if we're all struggling and have to get along together to survive. No, I think goodwill is what was more important.
So last year it got flooded out, and was it Chris Rock who had to walk like 3 miles through the mud to get to the road to get it right out of there?
He escaped. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Have you ever had to walk through that kind of mud that just sticks to your boots? Like every step you take, you get another like half or a quarter inch of mud.
Like clay, right? It's more like clay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Your feet just get covered. You have to like stop and get a stick and like dig it out.
Couldn't go 3 miles walking like that. That's like walking 15 miles.
Yeah.
For you're putting that much effort to take a step. That every step is like 6 steps.
Yeah.
And your muscles get sore. I mean, not everybody.
It's just a pain in the butt. Yeah. I remember riding out in the desert one time, and we came into that mud, and it just coated on your wheel to the point that your wheel couldn't even turn anymore. So I'm like basically having to like almost carry my bike out as well as having my feet covered. It was ridiculous.
Well, what they do now, they have these trucks that just douse water and they make roads on the sand so that the sand isn't blowing up and you can ride your bike on it and stuff. So they create the roads this way. And that way, because man, like all the transportation is different.
30 seconds, guys.
Different like rides that they make. They make all kinds of like you'd see in a parade kind of thing. But I gotta admit, it looks pretty at night, man. It is all lit up. The whole place is just lit up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're creative too, man. They put a lot of work into that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show. We've got Barry here. Barry, you're off to Burning Man tomorrow, right?
And I think it's almost over, isn't it? A couple more days.
I think we're like day 2 or 3 of it now, or something like that. I don't know.
4 or 5 more days then, at least.
Yeah. But you were saying during the break that one of their orgy rooms blew away.
Yeah, they had a massive dust and windstorm, and it blew the orgy dome down.
That's got to be a shame.
And then a lightning massive storm followed, and it was like Burning Man hell is what they were describing it as. It's pretty bad, apparently. But, you know, they're kind of notorious for having weird weather. I don't know. It seems to somehow follow them.
And that's a rare place for it to rain. I was talking about that earlier before the show. It's like Reno just doesn't get a lot of rain in the summer at all, like ever. It's the desert, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? And last year they got dumped on. And it is a dry lake bed, so when it rains, it fills up with water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The water's got nowhere to go. It just, until it evaporates, it's going to be there. So if you've got 3 inches of water across the entire desert floor, it's going to take several days for that to evaporate and go away or soak into the ground or whatever it does, but it's not like, where most people are used to. It's the desert, man. It's hardcore desert out there. Big time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, but, hey, when you're going out into the desert in the middle of summer, have fun. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dusty. It's going to be a lot of this stuff, and you're going to get dirty.
I think a lot of people, because it can be kind of expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But the people that have a lot of money, like you were talking about on the break, like Chris Rock, I'm sure they bring their, top of the state-of-the-art, van or whatever they have, bus. They live luxuriously when they're out there, nice and cool, got all the luxury and the amenities that they need. So yeah, but I think a lot of people they like the idea of kind of roughing it.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere that they've got these different tiers, and for like the $20,000 level, you can get your own RV that'll just be there waiting for you, brand new one, like a Class A. That's just sitting there. You show up, here's the keys, you get in, and you live in that for the next week. Right? And they'll have special dinner, special food, special everything. Like pure VIP experience with other big celebrities, and the one next door, and if there's 20 of those types of RVs, they're all filled with VIPs. So yeah, and centrally located, the whole 9 yards. It's they really do tend to. They know that there's a lot of very, very wealthy tech people from the Bay Area that go out there every year that have been doing. It used to be out in California until it got big enough that they said, "Hey, let's just move this out to the desert where we can really do it." So its origins are in the Silicon Valley. So a lot of those people go out there. There's a lot of programmers and stuff that are involved in that.
I don't think it started out that way, but eventually, sort of like the Holly weirdos kind of come in, and like you said, the big tech people, and they all kind of do it. I kind of see Burning Man. I don't know, maybe it's not a good comparison, but sort of like Coachella. It just seems like, I don't know, to me, a waste of time. Like I would never. Coachella doesn't interest me at all, man. That is just like it's so expensive on top of everything. But I mean, that's the whole thing. I think the whole thing is prestige. I went to Coachella, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah. And I think, you talk about the price of Burning Man. I think it's like $1,000 to get in the door. Yeah. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Now, if you don't make a lot of money, there are, according to what this one guy was saying, you can get in for cheaper and get the same benefits. Like he was saying, because this guy that was narrating, he said, well, he got a bunch of questions like why his wife wasn't with him. And he said, well, because, she would have to pay the full $1,000 because obviously she makes more money than he does. So it just wasn't in their budget.
And you talk about 70,000 people at $1,000 a head. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I mean, just you're talking about boatloads and boatloads of cash for 1 week of work a year. Well, I don't want to put it to that because I'm sure there's months of planning and months of teardown. But it's for an event that lasts a week and then probably at least bare minimum, a couple months of preparation for it as well. Right. But in other words, you still get most of the year scot-free and make crazy amounts.
Yeah, I mean, you can go pretty much anywhere and do any of the activities and get free food and free snow cones and whatever it is that they're offering. It's pretty much all free, according to what this guy was saying. I think he was headed to get some free. I was watching it on YouTube. Melted cheese sandwiches. I guess that was going to be his lunch. Didn't sound too healthy, but hey, maybe he's got something in the fridge back at his mobile.
Compared to the copious amounts of drugs he's taken that day, it's probably the healthiest thing that went into his mouth.
Could be.
But yeah, craziness out there. I spent a lot of time in Nevada. I know that state very well. It's shockingly beautiful when you get past the first impression, which is there's nothing here. But you start digging deeper, and it gets really, really, really cool. It's amazing how many mountains there are there. How much just diversity of everything. The hot springs as well are fabulous. In the Basque culture, the Basque, meaning the northern Spanish section of Spain that's always looked for independence, that are up in the Pyrenees. Their food is insanely good, and you can pull off to these places in the middle of nowhere and just have one of the best steak dinners you'll have in your life. I'm always blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Always blown away by their food.
I believe it.
So if you're ever driving on a road trip through Nevada and you're coming up on Elko or Winnemucca or one of those little towns, just look for Basque food, Basque, and go have yourself a good meal there. I think folks, you'd really enjoy it if anyone tries that.
And if you make it to Tulsa, Oklahoma, come on down, man. We got 4 or 5 Taco Bells. We got a McDonald's and a Burger King. We got some pretty nice places. I'm just kidding.
I'm actually jealous of Oklahoma for one thing, and that is, if you know who George Mott is, M-O-T-T, he has a YouTube channel where he's written several books. He's the definitive expert on hamburgers in America. And Oklahoma has a freakish number of places that still serve original style cheeseburgers that they've had on the menu for generations now, that are just some of the best in the world. The Oklahoma fried onion smash burger is really probably by far the most famous one. And there's places out there that are still serving those things up on the same grill they've been using for 80 years. And man, I would love to go get me one of those. If I ever touch down in Oklahoma, Barry, that's the first place I'm going.
Yeah, well, there's a guy on YouTube that covers all the really, excellent places to eat in Tulsa. And I really need to tune back into that because there's probably a few really good hamburger joints that I haven't hit yet.
Yeah, I would recommend you go straight to the source. Put in Oklahoma fried onion burger, and then George Mott should come up, and just watch that one where he actually goes to the place where it was originated from. And man, get in your car, and I'm almost positive it's in Tulsa somewhere. So you could probably have one of those for lunch tomorrow, which makes me jelly.
I'll eat one for you, man. I certainly will.
All right, yeah. Oh, at least send me a picture, dude.
I will. I'm sure it's going to be big, fat, and juicy.
Yeah, well, they smash them down, and they cook them right in there with the onions. You put a massive wad of onions on top of a burger. It was meant to add, but during the Depression, meat was expensive. And so they added an absurd amount of onions to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to, fill it, to give it more, more calories, so to speak.
Sure.
And yeah, you smash them all into it, and then you flip the thing over and let it grill with those onions. And some of them, get steamed, and some of them get crispy. It's just it's a magical thing.
Sure, absolutely.
I'll tell you, my life changed when I learned how to make those at home. I just said, man, that looks so good and it looks so easy. I'm just going to try it at home. And I nailed it. The first try, I kicked it out of the park, and I've never messed it up once.
Never?
It's the best way to cook a hamburger there is. What's that?
You didn't have to go out and spend all that money to get the burger that you want. You can just do it right at home. I do that with Chipotle. I don't go to Chipotle anymore because I just learned how to make the bowl myself with the rice, the chicken, the beans, all the different toppings. And I'm like, wow, this tastes exactly like Chipotle. Why would I spend $12 at Chipotle? I can do it right here.
Yeah. $12 sounds real cheap, bro. I don't know the last time you've been there, but yeah, I bet there's
I might have
16
gone
now.
up. I know the
Yeah.
bowl's a little bit cheaper than if you get the tortilla,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know. It's still, I think it's maybe,
Yeah.
if you get a drink, you're probably looking at least 15.
I was down. There's so many places I can pop in when I'm going into town where I can just get a big gulp kind of thing for $1, right? If I don't drink them very often, but every now and then I just want a big Coke. You know what I mean? And I went into the Subway. The small was $3, the medium was $4, and the large was $5. And I was just like, if you got 3 kids, that's $20 on Cokes.
Yeah, you'd be better off buying a 2-liter yourself at the grocery store and just, drinking it, dude.
And while you're at it, buy a loaf of bread and some, ham and whatever else, and just make your sandwiches at home.
You're talking to the guy that eats out maybe 2 or 3 times a month. I cook everything at home. Ever since the shamdemic, I started that just basically because I had no other choice. Mm-hmm. And I had just never turned back. Not only is it saving me a lot of money, I get to choose what I'm putting in my body, which is like super important to me because I'm a health nut.
Yeah. I eat out very little as well. I mean, maybe more than twice a month, maybe 3 times a month, 4 times a month, if I go into town. But sometimes I'll just do something as simple as getting, the burger. I'm sorry, the McDonald's app. There's a McDonald's right next to the thing, so you can get a half off for a double cheeseburger. So sometimes I'll do that with a Coke, and just that's my eat out for the week and a half or whatever. So it's like a $4 excursion, and it's really just because those things go through you. McDonald's is terrible. It's the worst. But it's convenient and it's right there. And if I can get a double cheeseburger and a Coke for $4, then it's pretty, it's reasonable. I'm not paying retail. I'm not paying $9 for a Big Mac or whatever it is. You got to be kidding me,
Yeah, that horse's meat over there at McDonald's is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It was funny. I heard someone talking about how, Americans love their sandwiches much more in the UK. The UK, it's like a side thing. It's a sandwich. It's not a big deal. And he was saying how McDonald's calls their hamburger sandwiches as an example. And I'm like, they do that because it's not a hamburger is beef inside of 2 buns, right? A sandwich is whatever horse meat they're using inside of 2 buns.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So when he said that, I kind of it's technically a hamburger. It always, I'm strict on that. A hamburger is beef in between, bread. It's not chicken.
Right.
It's not a burger. It's a chicken sandwich.
Chicken burger.
No, it's a chicken sandwich. Let's get it straight.
Well, what's chicken of the sea?
Okay. Yeah, the chicken of the sea. The chicken of the cave? Remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
That was from Anchorman.
Okay.
Maybe Anchorman 2.
It's been a while since I've seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, where the sports guy has a restaurant where he claims to be serving chicken, but it's bat.
Scary stuff. Yeah, that's
he calls it
chicken of the
chicken
cave.
of the sea. Chicken of the cave, yeah. Same thing. So, anyway, let's dive into another headline here. Melania Trump.
Right?
Go ahead.
Chicken in the bat cave. That's probably how the COVID virus got out.
Well, that's what they'd have you believe, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Even though there's no bats living anywhere within 600-700 miles of Wuhan. But hey, bats can travel.
Sure.
Let's see what's going on here. Melania Trump is looking at being on the cover of Vanity Fair magazine. And the left is going crazy about it. Because, she's never really been on the cover of any major fashion magazine in the first term.
Well, ever since she's been the first lady, she never has been. She used to be on the cover of magazines probably quite a bit because she's always been known as a beauty. But the left just hates Trump and hates Melania, and they would rather put Michelle Obama on the cover of a magazine, and she's on all kinds of covers, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Jill
she's
Biden
on it.
Jill Biden was all over him in her,
Yep.
in her dresses that look like they came right off the drapery,
Mm.
or the pattern for the couch.
Well, if you notice that fashion isn't really based on, class and style anymore, go look at some of the Hollywood weirdo fashion shows, man. It's all like dark and demonic stuff a lot of times. I mean, like creepy stuff, like super. I posted on social media and people like, what is this, man? Oh, I don't know. It's just the latest, fashion show. That's Kanye West right there. And it's all, just like utter sheer ugliness, right? Like the uglier, the better, like they're wearing a trash bag. And they think that's somehow fashion. It's ridiculous, man. The same thing at what's that show, the Met Gala, where they go and they dress up the craziest of stuff. And I don't know if you saw this, but what was it, Lil Nas X? He was out walking around in his underwear and boots, and some person was filming him. And apparently he was like drugged out or something. And then he attacked the police when the police came to take him away, because he's sitting there walking down the middle of the street acting nuts. I mean, acting crazy in nothing but his underwear and boots. And this woman was just filming him the whole time. You got to watch it. It's pretty bizarre.
I saw it. I didn't click on the video, but I did see the article. I don't care enough about him to watch that, but I'm sure it's bizarre. I'm sure it's actually probably worth watching.
The people in Hollywood weird, and I know he's not an actor, but I put them all in that same kind of category. They're just kind of cracking, a lot of them, man. They're like sort of falling off the edge, like really out there.
Yeah. Well, all their lives are catching up to them. It's all catching up. They're seeing the insanity of the positions that they've been forced to hold and say out loud to the world, and it's just all blowing up in their face. We're not going to be your slaves. We're just not. Sorry, folks. I don't know what to tell you. If you were counting on Barry and I being your slaves, it's just not going to happen.
I want to be a personal assistant of some celebrity, man. I want to hear them bark orders at me because I want to bow down before them, and because I just idolize them so much.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian, man. I want her to be my leader.
Hero, man, my hero.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Kardashian family. Forget just Kim. I mean, across the board, man.
Starting right at the top with Kim, right?
The whole Kardashian family. I feel sorry for him, man. Something happened there. I don't know. They say it's the Kardashian curse, maybe. A lot of people that come in contact with Kardashians don't fare too well. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. It's the succubus. You marry a succubus, it's going to happen.
Succubus. Oh, she's probably a vampire for sure. I mean, who knows? I'm sure there's a lot of weird things that go on in that family, way more than you see in the show. That's for certain.
Oh yeah. Oh God. They probably got entire fake walls in there. When the cameras leave, they turn them around. It's just God knows what.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, God knows what they do in their spare time. Who knows? But I don't want anything to do with it, and I don't have anything to do with it, so it works out fine for me.
I just like to be able to get every now and then that Holly weirdo thing, because I get some satisfaction. I hope it wakes some people up. Please do not idolize these people, because they're really kind of weird, most of them.
That's right. But yeah, Vanity Fair is looking to have Melania Trump on there. This is probably her 100th magazine cover, but the first one as First Lady after 8 years, 9 years now that someone could have asked her. So it's crazy.
That the gangster thing that she wore. Remember when she got real serious after they tried to kill her husband, Donald Trump, and she wore that, almost looked like a mobster outfit, like signifying okay, you want to play? I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready to play because, man, I'm going to protect my husband.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's a mama bear for sure.
Yeah. She's tough. I think she's tough as nails, dude, for real.
And then you have, on the other end of the spectrum, you have Kamala Harris's stepdaughter. What is it? Emhoff.
Well, they're saying she's the most beautiful woman in the world. That's what some magazine covers. I'm serious.
I know.
I make this stuff up, dude.
I beg to differ, though. I mean,
well,
if it's
but, dude,
if it's 3 a.m.
you're a
and
white
you're hitting
male.
on her, yeah, if you're hitting on her at 3 a.m. in a bar and the lights come on, you're gonna run. You're gonna say, "What have I done?"
She's that unattractive. I don't see her like as attractive, but I guess maybe that's the new attractive is just being sort of bland. Just like I said, folks, go and watch some of the Hollywood fashion shows. They are bizarre, man. I mean bizarre.
They are. But anyway, we got to take a break, folks. This is Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Okay, and we're on radio break, finally.
How late was I? I know I was a little late there. Let's see. That wasn't too bad. Probably 30 seconds off.
One of the things they like to do is go into churches and do like some sort of occult fashion show ritual. That happens a lot. Especially in Europe, they go into like Christian churches, like really nice cathedral churches, and then they go in and just do, I mean, dress up in all kinds of like just satanic stuff, man. I mean, like dark stuff. And it's like, what's this church into that they would allow that to be in their church? It's insane, dude. Absolutely insane. I mean, we're not in Kansas anymore, folks. We not
that's
in
why
Kansas.
that's why Putin kicked out Pussy Riot.
They were griping about something. I don't remember exactly what it was. A couple of them, I think, went to jail, right?
I think most of them, but one went to jail. One, and they're all not in the country anymore, as far as I know. Yeah, he sent them walking papers. You can either go to the clink or you can,
to the clink.
Yeah, the clink. To jail or
Exactly.
and we all know how well their jails are.
Oh man.
Hey Barry, have you ever been to a Turkish prison?
Naked Gun, is that what that's from?
No.
What's
Airplane.
that?
Airplane.
Oh, Airplane, okay. Same kind of humor though.
Hey Barry, I bet you like movies about gladiators.
That movie was so insane, dude.
It was. It was so ahead of its time too.
OJ, remember OJ when he's going down the field with the wheelchair and he flips up backwards? That was just insane, dude. That show. I mean,
it was OJ. Wilt Chamberlain was in it too.
Yes. Yeah.
They have
I love the
all
airplane scene where they were slapping the person around. Like, get a hold of yourself. And it's just one person after another giving this person a beat down. It's like,
I always liked the guy that played the captain because he's played so many great parts over the
he
years.
was Mission Impossible guy.
Yeah, the
right?
original. He was the
That's what I'm
original
talking about.
guy for that. Yeah. I can't
What was
think
that
of
show I used to watch when I was growing up? The Mod Squad. Dude, that was the coolest show. I loved that show. Back in the day, the Mod Squad. Remember that?
Mod Squad. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the show at all?
There was a show that was really good too called Beretta. Remember that? He had a
Of course,
parrot.
with the
He had a parrot.
Exactly.
in a split window Stingray Corvette. All
Back
black.
in the day when I was growing up, man, I would like make sure I was at home to. There was what I consider to be good TV for being 12 and 14 years old, and there's nothing that I tune into now. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I don't even have TV. I don't even have like regular cable, non-cable. I don't even have an antenna because nothing I want to see on there. I've got Roku.
Yeah.
But it's all free Roku stuff.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, I used to watch. Oh yeah, there'd be like when I got home from school, there'd be like a series of like three hours.
He went
of just,
from
like,
that to Barnaby Jones. Come on.
I remember that show as well. I wasn't really into that. I kind of like Dragnet a little bit.
Yeah, I never liked hospital shows too. He played in a bunch of hospital shows too. 30 seconds, guys.
Oh,
I never got into police and
Yeah. Oh, man.
Take a blast to the past, ladies and gentlemen. Got to do it.
Holy cow, have I got a lot of stuff open here.
That's right. Look
Oh,
out. 3, 2, 1, and you're live right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show for Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. And with me tonight, of course, I've got Bullhorn Barry. What's going on, Barry?
I'm kind of excited about a lot of things. I know we've kind of been doom and gloom about everything, but did you see where RFK Jr. said that they may have discovered the cause of autism? Remember, he was given like 6 months to figure it out. According to Trump said, I want to know. I want you to get to the bottom of it in 6 months. And once they declare it to the public, that the left is going to tear it up, man, because they don't want people well. They don't want the kids not. They don't want the kids not to be born with autism. They like it. They're going to do everything they can to fight RFK Jr. on all of these scientific, factual discoveries. Why? Because they have no problem with kids having autism. That's the way I see it. What other logical explanation is there? Why would you fight? They fight RFK Jr. on things that it's not even partisan, not even remotely partisan. It's about making our kids healthy again. It's about making America healthy again. It's about getting the toxic stuff out of the food and out of the water and out of our skies. There was that guy, one of the guys, top EPA guys, was on Glenn Beck talking about geoengineering, weather modification, confirming all of it. And he said that these globalists, they want to upscale it all. Now, he didn't come straight out and say they're doing it or anything like that, but that's a confession. When he says they want to upscale it, that means they want to do it even more. That's him saying they're doing it. Yeah, you don't upscale something that you're not doing. You upscale something you're already doing. Do you understand that was a confession?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and it's just, video. They hate Donald Trump so much that they fight him on everything. And it's going to backfire incredibly hard in 2026, right? Next year, when we have their midterms, it's going to be a nightmare because there's a lot of things that he's doing. No tax on tips, right? Who doesn't like that? Everybody in the industry likes that.
It now. They liked it when Kamala suggested it after Trump had already said he was going to do it.
Wasn't that ridiculous? I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, she comes out and says, I'm for no tax on tips. It's like, that's Trump's thing. You just stole it.
I'm for securing the border. Yeah, I mean, it's just total insanity. They have no idea what they even believe, man. They just say whatever they think is going to be what the people want to hear. They have no plan other than their globalist plan. That's the plan that the left is totally on board with. Whatever the globalists at the WEF and all of those places are pushing, that's the agenda they're for. All of it, the green stuff, everything. The what do they call it? Zero emissions. That's a Democrat thing, but it started at the globalist level. That's a globalist thing that trickled down into the Democrat Party.
Yeah, and honestly, zero emissions is just a ridiculous concept.
Absurd.
It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I mean, to say that we're not going to use any fossil fuels at all. You're going to send us back to the Stone Age if you try to do that. I mean, granted, 100, 200 years from now, it's probably a no-brainer, but right now, today, in this economy, with the way it works, no way. It's not even close. You can drive your electric cars around all you want. They do give out emissions, folks. A lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're breathing, exhaling. You're releasing carbon dioxide, which is they consider to be a toxin, which even though we're a carbon-based planet, it's total absurdity, right? It's so absurd that the people, at the WEF and these type of people, they're saying we could actually genetically modify people to not want meat, not to want to eat it. Because they said that nobody's going to just give up their meat because people love it too much. So we can just breed people genetically. That's one way they could do it, they said. And of course, there's the big conspiracy and rumor going on, and there is some facts to it. There is I think it's a tick bite that leads to, an allergic reaction to red meat. And, with Bill Gates playing with the mosquitoes and creating genetically modified mosquitoes, it certainly would not surprise me if they're, genetically modifying mosquitoes, that when they bite you, you start having an allergy to red meat. Sounds like wild conspiracy theory, but these people really believe we got to have zero emissions. And as they always say, they have to do it by force. I just listened to that interview with Larry Fink again just yesterday, where he said, well, we've got to make behavior through force. What kind of world are we going to live in if everything, no more freedoms? It's just, we tell you how to live and that's the end of it. Talk about the end of democracy, right?
Or, dictators, fascism. That's fascism. We're going to modify your genes so you don't eat red meat. You're allergic to it now forever. That's fascism, folks. It's the definition of a dictator, someone who would even think about doing that. And that's not coming out of Donald Trump's office. Not even close.
Oh, no. No. He likes that red meat.
Oh, yeah. He likes a steak well done with ketchup. Mm-hmm.
For sure, man. I think RFK Jr. said not too long ago, eat lots of red meat, he said. He even went out and told people to do it. It's healthy. I totally agree. I agree more if it's grass-fed organic. It's just healthy.
Yeah, exactly. But, it's all good. It's all good. We were talking about burgers earlier, man.
I'm giving up my meat. No possible way. I'll never eat the laboratory meat, although you could be eating laboratory chicken and laboratory salmon right now in the United States because it's been passed through the FDA, and they don't have to tell you. So you go to a restaurant, you order salmon, you could be eating some lab meat salmon, and they could be charging a hefty price. I think actually it's probably more expensive to manufacture fake salmon than it is to go get some real salmon in the ocean.
Mm-hmm. And, salmon is really good for you. And I crave it sometimes. You got to have salmon. Yet if the modified stuff, is that even good for you? Is it like, what's in an Impossible Burger? I don't have a clue, and I don't want to know, and I could care less. And I just, please don't ever give me one of those. God, I remember, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something, I went to get a Whopper, and they gave me an Impossible one. And I mean, my dog ate it. My dog ate the thing.
It was impossible to eat, wasn't it?
I wasn't going to eat it.
Even your dog probably turned it away. Probably sniffed it and said, no.
No, she ate it. I'd like to say she didn't, but she did.
You must have put some gravy or something on it.
Well, I don't know. It's she put it down, and I took one bite of it, and it was just like, what is this? It was just horrible.
Oh yeah. I ate it one time myself as well, and it was before I knew that Bill Gates was behind it, and it just tasted like cardboard, and I thought, I'll never eat this again. There's only been one burger that I've eaten that I thought was decent, and that was the black bean burger. They're not bad. They're not great. They're not. You wouldn't compare them to a real burger, but it's not horrible.
Yeah, exactly. And if you got them, they're very easy to cook. I think those garden burgers. Heck, you can probably just put them in a toaster if I'm not mistaken. It's not even going to make that much of a mess because there's no grease in it really. You just warm it up, slap some cheese on it. If you're smart, you put bacon on it, and you got yourself a nice little sandwich. But that's different though. It's just a garden burger. It's not trying to be meat. It's obvious it's something else, and they tell you right there. You read the side of it, and the ingredients are just like carrots and beans and stuff like that. It's not like some mystery that just comes. You squirt some gel in a thing and it divides and starts making meat. No, thank you.
I think of all the sci-fi movies where they, just stick it in the microwave and poof, out comes this I don't know, thing that you eat, but it's full of the nutrients that you need, all that you need for the day. It's almost like they're trying to precondition us for some dystopian future. It really is. I'm really scared about the technology, man, and how they're going to use it against us. I'm all for technology to make humanity progress, but anything that sets us back, man, I can't be for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't want it. Just give me my meat. I just want beef. I love beef. I don't even eat chicken very often.
Maybe we need to go back to dial-up phones. Have you ever seen the videos of people showing teenagers a dial-up phone, and they couldn't figure out how it worked.
Yeah.
They didn't know to put their finger where the 3 is, and they were like, I don't get this. How does it work? And then they showed it, and they're like, that's really strange. And they tried to do it themselves, and they struggled to dial it. It was so weird watching it, man. I mean, they're so disconnected from our past.
Yeah, yeah. And I always say, man, back in those days, you had 10 friends you knew all their phone numbers cold. You know 100%. What I mean? You probably, the average kid in, my time probably had at least 25 phone numbers, memorized, hardwired into their brain.
Yes. I still remember my neighbor's phone number. One of my best friends growing up. I won't say the whole number, but the last 4 digits are 0631. And I remember our home number still. You probably remember your landline home number. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, yeah, that was just something you did because, if you're out and about and you want to go to a payphone and see if so-and-so is around and they want to go hang out with you guys, you got to go to a payphone, put a quarter in, and know that number cold. Dial them up. What are you doing? Okay, we're on our way over. We'll be there in 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. We've got 2 payphones in Utica Square in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and apparently they both work. I guess, I don't know what, it used to be like a quarter. I'm sure it's like 75 cents now if you want to make a call, but who would do it? I think it's more just for looks because it's painted red. It looks like one of the British, payphones. It's sort of nostalgia, kind of like what we were talking about before. Yeah. So nostalgia, everything nostalgic is kind of making a comeback. Cassettes, LPs, probably 8 tracks next, everything's kind of circling back. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon the mullet's coming back. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to do the mullet again. I did it once before. I'll never do it again. Yeah,
well, that's why I saved all my bell-bottom jeans.
Dude, I had those. Those were the coolest things.
I bet you did. I bet you were strutting around. Whether your mother, whether your lover, you're staying alive. Staying it right?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was John. For real.
Yep.
I think it's funny. Sedgefield jeans. I had some Sedgefield jeans that were like that. I don't even know if that's the brand. I don't think they have that brand anymore, but I remember growing up and just looking at some of the pictures, man. The 70s show, that's kind of how I dressed in the 70s, man. And it's kind of weird back at the pictures. Had wild, like platinum blonde hair from being out in the sun, and it was curly. I looked like a surfer.
And I do want to say to everybody, especially all you youngins out there, John Travolta had a career before Pulp Fiction. And he was actually pretty big back in the day. Go look up the movie Saturday Night Fever. It is a crazy flick. If you want to see a side of John Travolta you didn't even know existed, if you've never heard of that movie, go watch it. It'll blow your mind. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And the Boy in the Bubble. Remember that one?
But I don't want him, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, he was in that TV series. I watched that religiously growing up, man.
Welcome back, Carter. Yeah.
And he made the comeback even before Pulp Fiction, I think. Maybe it was after Pulp Fiction, but he did Look Who's Talking. Remember those? The little comedies? He kind of broke in the comedy thing as well. Maybe Fiction.
That was... Yeah, exactly. I don't know how big of a hit that was, though. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a huge hit like Saturday Night Fever was, or say Pulp Fiction. Yeah, it was sort of a mid-tier. It was a comeback
for him because he'd kind of struggled for a while after being typecast.
Yeah. And
there's only one. I think there's only one Bee Gee alive. All the people in the Bee Gees have passed away.
Well, wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, they say Barry Gibb is the only one alive, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, that was a time, man. Everyone went to the discos and, well, you got to watch the movie and see what it's about, man. Sure. It was a crazy time. But let's dive into another story here. John Bolton's home got raided the other day. And it's really interesting that they start with him because apparently there's rumors going around that he was potentially selling top secret information to foreign governments, making a lot of money doing it. And if that comes out to be the fact, then the dude needs to go down hard. And I don't care. right? And it's not political retribution. It's just the biggest warmonger on the planet has been found to have acted subversively against the United States. Committed, is it treason when you're, sending information, top secret information to other countries?
Yep, sure is.
Espionage, you name it, whatever you want to call it, it's a serious crime. And here's what Greg Gutfield had to say about it.
Some people say it's retribution. I say, who cares? Don't lecture me on timing of lawfare. Don't lecture me on politically motivated, investigations. You guys invented this stuff. You loved doing it to Trump because you didn't think it through. You were so confident that Trump was toast, that you could rattle off free punch after free punch after free punch without any fear of reprisal. So yeah, is it retribution? I don't know. But when you think about the constant lawfare, the gerrymandering, the Dems never expect it to happen to them. They're like home invaders who didn't expect a well-armed occupant when they showed up. And Trump is well-armed. This is kind of an ongoing masterclass for the Republican Party, the new Republican Party, to quote Greasy Gav, how to fight fire with fire. The conservative movement, which I loved for the longest time, they were kind of happy to fritter away their influence and power on the notion that they were always above returning fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I write for National Review. This is disgusting. Let's write a 4,000-word piece on judicial reform. And then they don't do anything. They go back to smoke their cigar. They always felt...
It's so true. Don't talk to me about retribution.
Mm-hmm.
They invented this warfare, this lawfare thing. The term lawfare was never in my vocabulary until the last few years.
Yeah. I mean, is it going to be personal for some people? Of course it is, man. Of course it is. I mean, that's called human nature. I'm not saying I agree with that, but it's human nature to make things personal when you go after somebody unjustly and relentlessly, right? But all I care about, I don't care about that. That's not my problem. That's their problem. If they're making it personal, that's their issue. What's important to me is that justice is served. And these people need to be held accountable because they are, in my opinion, many of them have betrayed America, betrayed our trust, and have committed treason.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Tulsi Gabbard just came out with another statement today that is related to all this sort of stuff. But let's hear what she has to say.
And you've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned, and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. But you're right. It's we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people and trying to cover up the politicization that was led by people like John Brennan and James Clapper and others that have caused really immeasurable harm to the American people and to our country.
Great job.
More burn bags stuffed away in the backs of safes in random offices.
Sure. I've said for thousands of times that the left does not pay attention to detail and they're sloppy, and that's going to be the one thing that takes them down. Why? Because they're so arrogant and narcissistic. They never thought they really had to protect themselves that much because they thought they would win again. They thought they could steal it again. And that didn't happen. And now all that evidence, those burn bags and who knows what else is out there. I've been saying, and everybody said that all that stuff was gone. And I said, you do not have your finger on the pulse, man. You are not looking at the signs of the times. And that's what I do as a self-proclaimed trends forecaster. And I can't tell you how many times I've been right. I've been wrong as well, but I've been much more right than I've been wrong.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder who's leaving this stuff behind. Was it the bad guys or was it the good guys? Did the bad guys put it in the burn bag, give it to a good guy, and say, go delete this, and instead they threw it in their office? You know what I mean?
Sure, because there's been that survived the purge. I mean, the Biden administration purged, any pretty much Republicans, even in the FBI. That's the scuttlebutt that I've heard from former FBI. But hey, you can fake it. and remain a mole inside, right? So that you can basically report what's going on to other white hats, you know, all the corruption, the scandal, and the crimes being committed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
And get ready, because more whistleblowers are going to come forward. I've been talking about for the last month that this is the season for whistleblowers. Watch, wait, and see. You're going to see more whistleblowers come forward. We talked about why. You know, people are feeling a little bit more safer. Even the scummy, scuzzy people, right? They want to get away out. They see the tide is turning away from the bad guys and into the new paradigm. So they want to try to get some sort of a deal, sort of like Giswell did. We said, hey, what's Giswell doing here? We said, well, she's trying to probably get into, you know, a better prison. And what happened after she gave testimony? She got a better prison, just like we forecasted on this show.
Yep. Exactly. And apparently she said, you know, Trump, it was fine, squeaky clean, nothing to do with him.
He was nothing but a gentleman, she said. And that goes along with all the other victims that have testified that Trump was never there. And if they had something on Trump, they would have used it a long time ago, because they've done everything possible to try to destroy Trump and stop Trump. So they would not have, you know, held on to that. That would have been their, you know, trump card that they would have played, bam, right away.
Yeah. And he ran the Miss Universe contest. And if he was just this scumbag that they think he is, somebody out there in the Miss Universe world would have a story. I would think every single year there'd be a different contestant that'd come out and be like, yeah, the guy's a scumbag. But you never hear it. He's the most investigated person on the planet. And they found nothing. They found diddly squat. All they could go after him on was a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. That's it. You find me another politician out there that hasn't paid hush money to somebody, you know, you're not going to find it.
And anything they did find was just fabricated. The Russia collusion, delusion, P-gate, you name it, man. You know, the doodling thing, that's never been proven to be real. I mean, they just make stuff up, man. I mean, they have to. 'Cause he's fairly clean as far as, you know, like playing by the book. I mean, he's a womanizer over the history of his life. Probably not now, because he's married, he's older. He's probably very satisfied with his wife, Melania. He's matured a little bit. But during his younger days, he was kind of a playboy. That's just well known. He doesn't deny that.
Well, no more so than Bill Clinton was. You know, for Bill Clinton, it's just, you know, it's part of his character. It's who he was. He's a ladies' man, you know. But Donald Trump, oh my God, he's horrible. It's the worst, you know. Same exact, you know.
That he raped her. That's the difference.
Oh,
Trump
well,
didn't rape anybody.
Yeah. And he had an underage intern, you know, Monica Lewinsky, who he had sexual relations with.
Oh, was she underage when that happened? I did not know that.
I think she was right at about 18 or 17. I mean, right there. She was right there. But when you're talking about a 50-some-year-old man, that's, you know, it's, I'm sure he probably checked her, you know, make sure she was 18 years old in one day before he pulled it out, so to speak. But you get my point. Just a kid. But anyway, and our last story for tonight, Florida way stations are now turning into ICE sting operations. Which I expect this to spread to several other states. Texas probably immediately, where, you know, you go in, you get weighed, you got to stop. Every truck has to stop there. And if you don't speak English, it's a flag, right? You can't go on if you don't speak English. It's Texas. You can't drive through our state if you can't read road signs. You're a trucker. I don't know, 20,000-pound vehicle or however, whatever they weigh. So anyway, that's happening, and I expect to see more of it. We got about a minute left, Barry. What do you think of all that?
Well, speaking of Trump, just to kind of say something, I mean, a lot of people have been complaining about this flag burning thing that he supposedly passed. Well, according to Alex Jones, and I haven't had time to look it up, but he looked at the executive order, and it's actually not saying you can't burn the flag. It's where there's a fire ban going on in a particular, mostly leftist cities, and somebody burns an American flag, they get a free pass. But if you burn your barbecue and you burn some burgers, you'll get fined. So that's what the executive order is about, is if
Interesting.
if there's a fire ban, So he's not being a tyrant.
Because I hate seeing people burn the flag, but it's freedom of speech.
It's not criminal. It's not criminal. It's
But anyway, we are plumb out of time. Sorry to interrupt you, Barry, but we are all out of time. We got to end it here, but stay tuned. There's much, much more coming from Dragus Productions right after this commercial break.
Much, much more.
All right. Well, you got that in, Barry. Thanks, guys. Did a great show.
I didn't want you to have